Hi, my name's Jose Castillo. So I'm just doing the vlog, the last reflection of this semester. So I looked back on what I said in my first reflection. I set out a goal for myself. So what I said was that I wanted to learn more about how I can collectively prepare for my own future as I get older. And I wanted to learn about how I can guide the older population to leading healthier and purposeful lives. So, for the first part, learning about how I can collectively prepare for my own future, I learned a lot during this whole semester because of the reflection prompts that we did. An important part, the most important one I learned this semester was honestly um, start being healthy as soon as I can. So watch my weight, watch my diet, and the biggest thing was to start exercising daily. And I think that important part of exercising, learning about how important exercise is and learning about how health is in general, I can um, use that information that I gained to teach other elders about how important health is. So I wanted to include something in particular that I learned, which was increasing health span. Um, Gerontologists or like researchers always think about increasing lifespan, the average lifespan of a human. But in week 7, this is where I got this information. During week 7, I learned about increasing health span, which I said was the best solution to combat the rationing of healthcare. So basically, health span was emphasizing on the fact that we should try to be as healthy as possible so that we can delay the onset of diseases that we may develop when we're older. So that goes hand in hand with combating rationing of healthcare because it can decrease costs. If if the elderly population was more healthy, then that means they don't have to be as dependent. They can actually be more independent. So if that happens, they wouldn't have to rely on long-term care facilities for just to live and just stuff like that. Um, and then for the actual week 15 um, prompt, it says, as we prepare to wrap up this semester, you are requested to reflect what I learned from this course. I did that. And then how the gained information will serve me in the future. So personally, when we did a reflection prompt on social security, I thought that was really helpful because I honestly did not even know how social security worked. But because that week was centered around how social security was and how it can affect um, like elderly people in the future, I thought, more knowledge, it was helpful for me. As I age, I'm gonna experience like how the taxes work and how um, when I maybe go on to retirement, when I go on to retire, how all the taxes that built up will be used for like my retirement. So I thought that that was nice to learn about. And then professionally, how the gained information served me professionally. Um, I'm gonna study to be a nurse. I'm actually just gonna start my first semester in a nursing school at Long Beach next spring. Um, so learning like when I was going through this course, I didn't have too much experience with dealing with elderly patients, but when I used to volunteer at a hospital, I'd always think about like how dependent some elderly people were. So um, once I'm an actual nurse, I can educate middle-aged people or even just the elderly about how important health is. Because another thing I learned this semester was that the more physically active we are, the slower our biological aging takes place. So exercise is the most important thing that I would emphasize to my patients of all ages, honestly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I really like the reflections, the reflection prompts, especially when I would try to, when we wrote about imagining ourselves as we're older, like in our 80s. Like I imagine myself to have diabetes when I'm in my 80s, and it just made me think like, wow, I should probably do my best to prevent that. I should try my best to prevent any kind of disease that will harm me when I'm older. So it was just a really nice way to put in perspective what aging can actually do to a person, and I thought it was a very successful semester in terms of just learning more and how I can apply this knowledge to not just my future workplace, but just to everywhere in general, like to my family, to my friends, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.